Today we're gonna focus on the very basics of Photoshop. This is the perfect guide for someone who just begun using Photoshop. Let's get started with learning the interface. Now, to make sure we're on the same page and all the stuff are open for you as mine as well, you want to go to Window, and then you want to go to Workspace, and you want to make sure the Essentials are default. Alright. Which is basically going to ensure that we have all the same features in the same screens. Alright, so now let's start create our first project or our new file. Let's go to File, then New, and this is basically the window that we're gonna do all the settings for the project. First of all, we can name this as I have a one. I'm gonna name this example for its sake, and then the width and height. For now, we're gonna do 1920 by 1080, which is the basic. And then make sure you're always selected on pixels. All right. Now, it doesn't really matter what you're gonna do with the bit stuff. I'm gonna go with 16-bit, and we're gonna choose a white background. Make sure right here it's an RGB color, and you want to put the resolution on 72 for the start. And yeah, basically let's just click create. It opens up the project, the white paper. So as you guys can see right here to the right, this is basically the layers tab. It shows us all the layers, all the elements, basically everything that is included in the project. So to first get started, we're gonna first of all unlock this layer, because when you create a new project, by default, the first layer is locked. So you want to click this lock right here, and you will unlock this layer. Now we can name this layer. You basically just double tap on the layer, and we can just call it background, because it's our white background for the projects. Another thing that is good for organizing is I would recommend to actually give a color to this layer. So in this time we're just gonna give it red. So you right click on this this right here, rectangle. You right click right here, and then you choose what color you want. I'm gonna go with red, and then you see this thing right here pops in red. So later on, while we're working, we'll have a lot of layers, so you kind of like can just give a color to each layer. So the first thing we're gonna do is actually learn the move tool. This tool right here at the left top corner is called the move tool. So let's go to this layer and just check this marked, and then go to the move tool and make sure it's checked. And as you guys can see, we can just move this white layer, which is our background, whenever we want and wherever we want. Also, this thing right here, you see those squares, it basically means it's transparent, which means if you render this project right now, you won't see this in the image. You just see this white stuff. All those stuff, it's transparent. You won't see it in the photo after you render it. So yeah, keep that in mind. Another thing you can do is basically undo stuff. If you did something by mistake, let's say I moved this thing right here, the best way to undo and just bring back everything as it was, is just clicking Control Z, and you see it just brings back the layer. I can take it down here and just Control Z. It's moving me one step back. Same thing it goes with everything. Just for tutorial's sake, you don't really have to do this. Basically we have to choose the layer. So just for tutorial's sake, let's say we draw something, you click Control Z and you're back again. All right, so that's what it does. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is actually go down right here. You see this star shape, you just right click on that, and then you choose the rectangle tool. So you right click on this thing and then rectangle tool. As you can see now, I get this little cursor tiny thing, and you can just hit and just hold the mouse button and just create this rectangle. You can just create a rectangle right here. If you guys want to change the rectangle color, you just go up here to fill, and then you choose what color you want. Make sure if you choose white, the white rectangle will blend with the background, so you won't see it, but we'll choose black for now. Now if you want to move the rectangle, you have to make sure you're on the layer and you're going to the moving tool. From here you go over here and then you just click on it and you can just move it wherever you want. Now let's say we don't want to move it like too free. We don't want to move it and the rectangle to be free. We want to move it and we want to the rectangle to lock on. Okay, so what I mean by lock on, I will show you guys. If I move it right now, the rectangle moves wherever it wants. But if we go and let's say we want to move it vertically from here to here, but we don't want it to move too much to the side. So we click shift and then we drag it down, and no matter what, it will just go directly down. All right. Same thing with the sides. Shift, you hit shift and then you just drag it. So that's the way you guys can move stuff, you know, linearly. So it kind of like locks on the path of the rectangle. Now let's say we want to rotate this rectangle. You hit Control T and then you see those like lines. So basically you don't go over this rectangle, this tiny square right here. You go a bit outside and then you see you have like this cursor which shows you that you can rotate it. Same thing for over here. If you hit on this, you won't be able to rotate it. If you go above a little bit or right here even, you will be able to rotate it to right or left. Same thing for each one. Just stand pretty close to it and you'll be able to rotate it as much as you want. As you can see, guys, it's that simple. Just go a little bit over the lines of the rectangle and just choose which way you wanna rotate the rectangle. Now another thing, basically let's say you move the rectangle and you want to bring it back perfectly where it's been. You go right here above, you see this little sign right here, you double click and then you click 0 and it will come back as it was. Now let's talk about another thing. Let's say you guys just expanded the rectangle and you just don't want to do it. You just go right here over this button and you just hit this button and it will bring it back. Again, let's say you guys expanded it and you want to go back, you can basically just hit this thing and cancel what you just did. Now let's say you did some edits, sorry, and you edited it and you're basically happy with your edits and you don't want to cancel it. You can just click this check mark right here, or you can just literally click enter and it will just check it for whatever you want. So this is basically everything for interface for beginners. I hope you guys learned something new, and you can move on to my next lesson, which is about effects. Hope to see you there.